The Great Compassion Dharani Sutra. Nilathanka Dharani Sutra. Thousand-handed and thousand-eyed Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva's vast, perfect, unimpeded, great compassionate heart Dharani Sutra. Thus I have heard. Once Shakyamuni Buddha was at Potalaka Mountain, in the treasure-adorned way place in Avalokiteshvara's palace, sitting on a precious lion throne adorned in purity with countless multifarious many jewels. Hundreds of precious streamers and banners were hanging all around. At that time, the Tathagata, who was sitting on his throne, intending to explain a teaching of the total retention Dharani, was along with innumerable Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, whose names are Dharani King Bodhisattva, Treasure King Bodhisattva, Vaishyaja Raja Bodhisattva, Vaishyaja Samudgata Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Mahastemaprapta Bodhisattva, Avatamsaka Bodhisattva, Great Sublime Bodhisattva, Precious Deposits Bodhisattva, Virtue Store Bodhisattva, Vajragarbha Bodhisattva, Akasagarbha Bodhisattva, Maitreya Bodhisattva, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, Manjushri Bodhisattva, and so on. Such Bodhisattva Mahasattvas are all great Dharma princes who had been empowered through their crowns. The Buddha was also along with innumerable great voice hearers, Shravakas, all of whom were practicing the 10th stage of Arhat, headed by Mahakasyapa. He was also along with innumerable gods of Brahma heaven, headed by Sinza Brahma. Also along with him were innumerable gods of heavens of the desire realm, headed by Gopaka god. Also along with him were innumerable 4 guardian gods, headed by Dhritarashtra. Also along with him were innumerable gods, dragons, yakshas, gandharvas, asuras, garudas, kinnaras, mahoragas, human beings, amanusyas, headed by heavenly virtue great dragon king. Also along with him were innumerable goddesses of heavens of the desire realm, headed by virginal eye goddesses. Also along with him were innumerable sunyatas, gods of spaces, gods of rivers and oceans, gods of fountains and spring, gods of stream and pond, gods of herb, gods of forest, gods of houses, gods of water, gods of fire, gods of earth, gods of wind, gods of ground, gods of mountains, gods of rocks, gods of palaces, and so on. They all came and gathered in the congregation. At that time in the congregation, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva secretly emitted his sacrosanct light. Thereupon the worlds in the 10 directions, along with this 3,000 great thousand-world system, were all illuminated and became golden. Heavenly palaces, palaces of dragons, and palaces of all gods were all shaken. Rivers, oceans, iron ring mountains, Chakravada Parvata, Sumeru mountains, earth mountains, and black mountains were also shaken. The light of suns, moons, pearls, fire, and constellations all disappeared. Witnessing this rare scene, Dharani King Bodhisattva was more surprised than ever before, so he arose from his seat, joined his palms, and asked the Buddha with a gatha, a verse. Who achieved the correct awakening today, emitting such great bright light universally? The worlds of the 10 directions are all golden. So do these 3,000 great thousand worlds. Who attained the ultimate freedom today, manifesting the rare great holy power? Innumerable Buddha worlds are shaken. So do palaces of dragons and gods. Now the entire congregation is wondering, not knowing whose power caused these. Is he a Buddha, Bodhisattva, or great voice hearer? Or a Brahman, demon, heavenly god, or Chakra? We pray for the Bhagavan's great compassion to tell us the source of this great supernatural power. The Buddha told Dharani King Bodhisattva, Virtuous man, you all should know that in this congregation there is a Bodhisattva Mahasattva named Avalokiteshvara, the unrestricted one. He had achieved the great kindness and great compassion since uncountable kalpas before, and he excels at practicing countless Dharani gates. In order to comfort and please all living beings, he secretly emits great sacrosanct power. After the Buddha said that, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva arose from his seat, tidied up his clothes, joined his palms toward the Buddha, and said, Bhagavan, I have a mantra of great compassionate heart Dharani, and now wish to proclaim it, for comforting and pleasing all living beings, for healing all illness, for living beings to attain additional lifespan, for living beings to gain wealth, for extinguishing all evil karma and weighty sins, for keeping away from hindrance and disasters, for producing merits of all white dharmas, for maturing all virtuous roots, for overcoming all fears, for fulfilling all good wishes. Bhagavan, please be merciful and allow me to speak. The Buddha said, Virtuous man, you have great kindness and great compassion. In order to comfort and please all living beings, you wish to speak the holy mantra. It is the proper time now. Please speak it soon. The Tathagata approves and rejoices it, and so do all Buddhas. Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva then said to the Buddha, Bhagavan, I remember that countless billions of kalpas ago, a Buddha, whose name was Thousand Rays King Stillness Thus Come One, appeared in the world. Because of his mercy and mindfulness towards me and all living beings, that Buddha, the world-honored one, spoke this vast, perfect, unimpeded, great compassionate heart Dharani, rubbed my crown with his golden hand, and said, Virtuous man, you should hold this heart mantra to give great benefit and happiness to all living beings in the future evil age. At that time, I was just at the first bhumi. Right after hearing this mantra, I exceeded the 8th bhumi. At that time, as my heart was joyful, I vowed, if I will be able to give benefit and happiness to all living beings in the future, let me have 1,000 hands and 1,000 eyes immediately. Instantly after the vow, I got fully 1,000 hands and 1,000 eyes on my body. Then the grounds of the worlds of the 10 directions quaked in 6 ways. Thousands of Buddhas of the 10 directions emitted their light to my body and illuminated boundless worlds of the 10 directions. From then on, from countless Buddhas and congregations, I have repeatedly heard, accepted, and held this Dharani, and the joys were also repeatedly aroused from my heart and made me greatly enthusiastic. Therefore, I transcended imperceptible births and deaths of countless billions of kalpas. Since then, I have always been reciting and holding this mantra and have never forgotten it. Because of holding this mantra, I was always born by miraculous creation, nirmana, from lotuses in front of Buddhas, and have never been born from any womb. Since then, I have always been reciting and holding this mantra and have never forgotten it. Because of holding this mantra, I was always born by miraculous creation from lotuses in front of Buddhas, and have never been born from any womb. If there are bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, upasikas, pure youth and maidens, who wish to recite and hold this mantra, they should first arouse their great, merciful, compassionate hearts for all living beings, and follow me in making these vows. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I quickly know all dharmas. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I soon obtain the wisdom eye. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I quickly ferry all living beings to the shore of liberation. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I soon obtain virtuous, skillful means to enlighten various living beings. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I quickly board the prajna boat. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I soon transcend the ocean of suffering. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I quickly achieve precepts, samadhi, and the way. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I soon ascend the mountain of nirvana. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I quickly dwell in the house of non-action. Namo, great compassionate Avalokiteshvara, may I soon unite with the Dharma nature body. If I go towards the mountain of knives, the mountain of knives of itself breaks up. If I go towards the boiling oil of itself dries up. If I go towards the hells of themselves disappear. If I go towards the hungry ghosts of themselves become full. If I go towards the asuras, their evil thoughts of themselves are tamed. If I go towards the animals, they themselves attain great wisdom. After making these vows, recite my name, Namo Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva, with a deep felt sincere heart. Also recite single-mindedly the name of my teacher, Amitabha Tathagata, Namo Amitabha. Then recite this mantra 5 times or more in a day to remove from the body the weighty sins of birth and deaths accumulated in hundreds of thousands of billions of kalpas. Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva then said to the Buddha, Bhagavan, if humans or gods recite and hold the phrases of the great compassion Dharani, when they are about to die, all the Buddhas of the 10 directions will come to receive them with their hands, and they will be reborn in whichever Buddha world according to their wishes. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva continued to say to the Buddha, Bhagavan, should any living being who recites and holds the holy mantra of great compassion fall into the 3 evil paths, I vow not to achieve the correct awakening. Should any living being who recites and holds the holy mantra of great compassion not be reborn in any Buddha world, I vow to not achieve the correct awakening. Should any living being who recites and holds the holy mantra of great compassion not obtain unlimited samadhis and eloquence, I vow not to achieve the correct awakening. Should any living being who recites and holds the holy mantra of great compassion not obtain whatever he seeks in his present life, then it cannot be called the Dharani of the great compassionate heart, unless it is used by those who are not virtuous or not completely sincere. If a woman dislikes her female body and wishes to become a male, if she recites the phrases of the great compassion Dharani, but cannot change from a female to a male, I vow not to achieve the correct awakening. However, if she arouses even a slightest doubt, her wish will not be satisfied. If any living being usurps the drinks, foods, or possessions of sanghas, even though 1,000 Buddhas appear in the world, he will not get to repent and reform. Even if he repents, his sins will not be eliminated. But now, by reciting this great compassion holy mantra, his sins will be eliminated. If anyone usurps, eats, or uses the drinks, foods, or possessions of sanghas, he must repent to teachers of the 10 directions to eliminate his sins. Now, when he recites this great compassion Dharani, the teachers of the 10 directions will come to bear witness, and then all his weighty sins and hindrances will be eliminated. All evil karma and weighty sins such as the 10 evil deeds, the 5 rebellious sins, slandering people, slandering the dharmas, breaking the abstinent precepts, breaking other precepts, destroying stupas, wrecking temples, stealing properties of sanghas, and profaning Brahma practices, can be completely eliminated by reciting this Dharani. Except this, if one has doubts about this Dharani, then even his small sins and light karma cannot be eliminated. Not to mention the weighty sins. Although the weighty sins do not disappear immediately, the reciting can still be the cause of Bodhi in the future. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva continued to say to the Buddha, people and gods who recite and hold the great compassion heart Dharani will obtain 15 kinds of good birth and will not suffer from 15 kinds of bad death. The bad deaths are: they will not die of starvation or poverty. They will not die from having been yoked, imprisoned, caned, or otherwise beaten. They will not die at the hands of hostile enemies. They will not be killed in military battle. They will not be killed by tigers, wolves, or other fierce beasts. They will not die from the venom of poisonous snakes, black serpents, or scorpions. They will not drown or be burned to death. They will not be poisoned to death. They will not be killed by mediumistic insects. They will not die of madness or insanity. They will not be killed by landslides or falling trees. They will not die of nightmares sent by evil people. They will not be killed by deviant spirits or evil ghosts. They will not die of evil illnesses that bind the body. They will not commit suicide. Those who recite and hold the great compassion holy mantra will not suffer any of these 15 kinds of bad death, and will obtain the following 15 kinds of good birth. Their place of birth will always have a good king. They will always be born in a good country. They will always be born at a good time. They will always meet virtuous friends. The organs of their body will always be complete. Their hearts of way will be pure and mature. They will not violate the prohibitive precepts. All their relatives will be kind and harmonious. They will always have the necessary wealth and goods in abundance. They will always obtain the respect and help of others. Their possessions will not be plundered. they will obtain everything they seek. Dragons, gods, and good spirits will always protect them. In the place where they are born, they will see the Buddha and hear the Dharma. They will awaken to the profound meaning of that proper Dharma which they hear. Those who recite and hold the Great Compassionate Heart Dharani will obtain these 15 kinds of good birth. All gods and people should constantly recite and hold it without laziness. After saying that, Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva joined his palms and stood upright in front of the congregation, aroused his great compassionate heart for all living beings, smiled, and in this way spoke the sacrosanct wonderful phrases of the vast, perfect, unimpeded, great compassionate heart great Dharani. The Dharani is: Namo Ratna Trayaya, Namo Arya Avalokiteshvaraya, Bodhisattvaya, Mahasattvaya, Mahakarunikaya, Om Sava Raphaye Sudanadasya, Namo Skritva Imam Arya Avalokiteshvara Ramdava, Namo Narakindihri Mahavadasvame, Sarva Artato Sabama Jayam, Sarva Sata Namo Vasat Namo Vaka Mavitato Tadyata, Om Avaloki Lokate Karate Ihri Mahabodhisattva, Sarva Sarva Mala Mala Mahi Mahi Hridayam, Kuru Kuru Karmam, Duro Duro Vijayati Mahavijayati, Dara Dara Drini Svaraya Chala Chala, Mama Vimala Muktile Ehi Ehi Sina Sina, Arsam Prasari, Visva Visvam Prasaya, Huru Huru Mara, Huru Huru Hri, Sara Sara Siri Siri Suru Suru, Bodhiya Bodhiya Bodhaya Bodhaya Maitriya Narakindi Drishnina, Vayamana Svaha, Siddhaya Svaha, Mahasiddhaya Svaha, Siddha Yogi Svaraya Svaha, Narakindi Svaha, Maranara Svaha, Sira Simhamukaya Svaha, Sarva Maha Asiddhaya Svaha, Chakra Asiddhaya Svaha, Padma Kastaya Svaha, Narakindi Vagalaya Svaha, Mavari Sankaraya Svaha, Namo Ratna Chayaya, Namo Arya Avalokiteshvaraya Svaha, Om Siddhyantu Mantra Padaya Swaha. When Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva finished speaking this mantra, the earth shook in 6 ways. The heavens rained down precious flowers, which fell in colorful profusion. All the Buddhas of the 10 directions were delighted, while the heavenly demons and exterior paths practitioners were so frightened that their hair stood on end. Everyone in the congregation achieved different fruitions, including the fruitions of stream enterer, Shrota Apana, once returner, Sakardagamin, non-returner, Anagamin, and Arhat. Others achieved the first bhumi, the second bhumi, the third, fourth, fifth, up to the 10th bhumi, stages of Bodhisattva. Innumerable living beings aroused the Bodhi Heart, which is the resolve to save all living beings and help them to achieve the correct awakening. Then the great Brahma Heavenly King arose from his seat, tidied up his clothes, joined his palms respectfully, and said to Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, "How virtuous, Mahasattva! I had attended innumerable Buddha congregations and heard myriads of dharmas and dharanis, but never before had I heard such sacrosanct, wonderful phrases of the unimpeded Great Compassionate Heart's Great Compassion Dharani. Mahasattva, please tell us the feature and characteristics of this Dharani. All of us will be pleased to know that." Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva told the Brahma King, "For the convenience of benefiting all living beings, you have asked me this question. Now you listen carefully, and I will tell you in brief." Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva said, "It is the great, merciful, and compassionate heart, the impartial heart, the motionless heart, the unpolluted and unattached heart, the emptiness-observing heart, the respectful heart, the humble heart, the uncluttered heart, the non-view and non-grasping heart, and the uppermost Bodhi heart. You should know that such hearts are the features and characteristics of this Dharani. You should practice according to them." Then the great Brahma King said, "We now know the feature and characteristics of this Dharani. From now on, we will recite and hold it, and will never dare to forget or lose it." Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva said, "If any virtuous men or virtuous women who recite and hold this holy Dharani can arouse the vast Bodhi heart that vows to ferry all living beings to the shore of liberation, keep the abstinent precepts bodily, arouse the heart of equality towards all living beings, keep reciting this Dharani without interruption, reside in a clean room, wash themselves clean, wear clean clothes, hang up streamers and light up lamps, make offerings with fragrances, flowers, vegetable foods of hundreds of tastes. Make their hearts stay still at one place. Do not think about others, and recite and hold this Dharani according to the Dharma. Then, sunlight Bodhisattva, moonlight Bodhisattva, and innumerable gods and immortals will come to bear witness and enhance the efficacy of their recitation. At that time, I will illuminate them with 1,000 eyes and protect and support them with 1,000 hands. From then on, they will be able to master all worldly literature and will perfectly understand all exterior paths, theories, and sorceries, as well as the Veda scriptures. One who recites and holds this holy mantra can heal all the 84,000 kinds of diseases of the world, without exception. He can also command all ghosts and spirits, vanquish heavenly demons, and tame all exterior paths practitioners. If one is reading sutras or practicing dhyana in a mountain or wild field, and some mountain spirits, various ghosts, demons, monsters, or devas come to disturb and make him unable to concentrate, recite this mantra once, then all those ghosts and spirits will be tied up. If one can recite this mantra in accord with Dharma and arouse merciful and compassionate heart towards all living beings, I will then command all virtuous gods, dragon kings, and Vajra secret traces, divinities, to always follow and guard him, never leaving his side, guarding him as their own eyes and lives. Then Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva said the Gatha. I command the Vajra secret traces knights, Ukushma, Kundalin, Ankusa, and the 8 clans' powerful knight Shankara, to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Maheshvaras, Narayana, Kumbhirabha, and Kapila to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Pajis, Sahasakas, perfect virtuous Chebods, and Kimnaras to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Sajamahoras, Kumbandas, Katabutanas, and Banjras to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Vipagata kings and morality Vitasaharas to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Brahma King Sambra, the 5 clans of pure abode heavens, and Yamarajas to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Sakra Devanam Indra, the lord of the 33 heavens, Sarasvatis and Vardanas, to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Dhritarashtra king, Haritis, goddess and great strength gods, to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Virudaka king, Virupaksa king, and Vaisravana king to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command the golden peacock king and the 28 clans of great immortals to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Manibhadra and Panchika Imperator Phalava to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command Nanda, Upandanda, and the Sagara Dragon King Ipra to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command the Asuras, Gandharvas, Karunas, Kimnaras, and Mahoragas to guard the mantra holders constantly. I command the gods of water, fire, thunder, lightning, Kumbanda king, and Pishakas to guard the mantra holders constantly. Those virtuous gods, dragon kings and goddess, each along with 500 retinues of great strength yakshas, will always follow and guard the holders of the great compassion holy mantra. If the mantra holder dwells and sleeps alone in an uninhabited mountain or wilderness, those virtuous gods will guard him by turns to eliminate misfortunes. If the mantra holder loses his way deep in the mountain, because of reciting this mantra, the virtuous gods and dragon kings will transform themselves into virtuous people and tell him the correct way. If the mantra holder lacks water or requires fire in a mountain, forest, or wilderness, the dragon kings will protect him by miraculously creating water and fire for him. Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva then said a misfortune-eliminating and refreshingly cool gatha. When walking in wilderness, mountain, or marsh, if encountering tigers, wolves, or other fierce beasts, or snakes, spirits, demons, monsters, ghosts, they will be unable to harm the mantra holder when they hear this mantra. When voyaging on river or sea, poison dragons, flood dragons, and makaras, yakshas, rakshas, fishes, and soft-shelled turtles will dodge when they hear this mantra. If besieged by battle arrays or robbers, or being robbed by villains, recite the great compassion Dharani sincerely. those villains will show mercy and go back. If one is imprisoned by government official, jailed, chained, and locked, recite the Great Compassion Dharani sincerely. The officer will show mercy and set him free. If entered a house of poisonous insects, raising family in a wild way, the family purpose to venom with drinks, foods, or medicines, recite the Great Compassion Dharani sincerely, the poison will turn to nectar. When a woman is giving birth to a child, evil demons come to obstruct the birth and cause suffering and oppressive pain. Recite the Great Compassion Dharani sincerely. The demons will disperse, leaving a safe and comfortable birth. If evil dragons or pestilence ghosts spread poison, people are infected by pyrexia and about to die, recite the Great Compassion Dharani sincerely. Diseases will be healed and the lives of people will lengthen. If evil dragons or ghosts spread the tumescent diseases, people suffer from carbuncles, sores, abscess, ulcer, and bleeding. Recite the Great Compassion Dharani sincerely. Then spit 3 times to the abscesses, and it will be cured. If there are muddled and wicked living beings who arouse immoral minds, causing hatred by sending nightmares, ghosts, and curses to you, recite the Great Compassion Dharani sincerely. Then the hexes and evil spells will return to its original cinders. When the Dharma is about to disappear, the world is evil, feculent, and disordered. People's sexual desire are like raging fire. Their hearts are deluded as they confuse right and wrong. They commit adultery behind their spouses and think of lust day and night ceaselessly. If they can recite the Great Compassion Dharani sincerely, the fire of sexual desire will quench and the evil minds will extinguish. If I glorify and affect the power of this mantra in detail, even 1 kalpa is not enough for the glorification. Then Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva told the Brahmas, recite this mantra 5 times, use threads of 5 colors to tie knots, then recite the Dharani 21 times, tie 21 knots, wear it on your neck. This mantra has been spoken by previous 9.9 billion Ganges River Sands Buddhas. Those Buddhas spoke this mantra for the practitioners who practice the 6 perfections, but have not yet fulfilled them, to make them succeed quickly. For those who have not yet aroused Bodhi Heart, to make them arouse their Bodhi Heart quickly. For Shravakas, who have not yet achieved fruitions, to make them achieve fruitions quickly. For all gods and supernatural persons in the 3,000 great thousand worlds, who have not yet aroused the unsurpassed Bodhi Heart, to make them arouse the Bodhi Heart quickly. For all living beings who have not yet gained the root of faith in Mahayana, with the mighty holy power of this Dharani, their seeds of Mahayana and Dharma buds will grow quickly. With the power of my expedience, mercy, and compassion, all of their needs will be supplied. For those living beings in the 3 evil paths, who live in the gloomy regions of the 3,000 great thousand worlds, when they hear this mantra, they will all be free from suffering. For Bodhisattvas, who have not yet achieved the first bhumi, to make them achieve quickly and make them achieve even up to the 10th bhumi, and even up to Buddhahood, with the 32 marks and the 80 minor marks achieved naturally. If a voice hearer, Shravaka, once hears this Dharani pass by his ears, if he practices and writes this Dharani, and if he settles down with straightforward heart in accord with the Dharma, then he will naturally achieve the 4 Shramana fruits, even if he does not seek for fruitions. Suppose all mountains, rivers, cliffs, and oceans in the 3,000 great thousand worlds can be boiled. The Sumeru Mountains and Chakravada Parvata Mountains can be shaken and grinded to dust. All living beings of that magnitude will arouse the unsurpassed Bodhi Hearts by the power of this Dharani. If anyone prays for any wish in his present life, he should keep the abstinent precepts and keep reciting this Dharani for 21 days. Then his wishes will certainly be fulfilled. From the verge of the previous birth and death to the verge of the next birth and death, all his evil karmas will be cleaned up. In the 3,000 great thousand worlds, all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Brahmas, Shakradevanim Indra, the 4 guardian gods, divinities, immortals, and dragon kings will bear witness. If a human or heavenly being who recites and holds this Dharani bathes in a river or sea, the nearby living beings wet by his bathwater will have all their weighty sins cleaned and be reborn in pure lands of other directions. They will be born throughout miraculous creation from lotuses, and will not undergo birth from wombs, moistures, or eggs. How much more so for those who recite and hold this Dharani for themselves? If one who recites and holds this Dharani is walking, A wind blows his hair and clothes. Then the living beings blown by the wind that previously touched the mantra holder will have all their heavy obstructions and evil karmas cleansed, will not continue to suffer from karmas of the 3 evil paths, and often be born in front of Buddhas. It should be known that the mantra holder's blessings, virtues, and fruit repayments will be unimaginable. If the mantra holder says anything, no matter good or bad, it sounds like pure Dharma sound to all heavenly demons, exterior paths practitioners, gods, dragons, ghosts, and spirits. Thus they will respect the mantra holder as if he were a Buddha. As to one who recites and holds this Dharani, we should know that he is a store of Buddha bodies, because he is cherished by 9.9 billion Ganges River Sands Buddhas. We should know that he is a brilliant light store, because he is illuminated by the light of all Tathagatas. We should know that he is a store of mercies and compassions, because he constantly saves living beings with this Dharani. We should know that he is a wonderful Dharma store, because this Dharani includes all Dharani gates. We should know that he is a store of dhyana and samadhi, because hundreds of thousands of samadhis often appear in front of him. We should know that he is an empty spaces store, because he constantly observes living beings with wisdom of emptiness. We should know that he is the store of intrepidities, because he is constantly guarded by dragons, gods, and virtuous gods. We should know that he is a wonderful language store, because the Dharani sound coming from his mouth is uninterrupted. We should know that he is an eternally abiding store, because the 3 disasters and evil kalpas cannot harm him. We should know that he is a liberation store, because heavenly demons and exterior paths practitioners cannot detain him. We should know that he is a medicine king store, because he constantly heals living beings with this Dharani. We should know that he is a supernatural power store, because he can freely travel round the Buddha worlds. The glorifications for the merits and virtues of the mantra holder are endless. Virtuous men, if one tires of the sufferings of the world and seeks for happiness of long life, he should settle down in an unoccupied and clean place, make a pure, secure boundary. Recite this Dharani toward his clothing, water, foods, fragrances, or medicines for 108 times and then use them. Then he will certainly gain a long life. If he can make a secure boundary, accept and hold the Dharani in accord with Dharma, then all things will be achievable. The method of making a secure boundary is: recite the Dharani 21 times towards a knife, and then countermark the ground with the knife to make a boundary. Or recite the Dharani 21 times towards some clean water, and then sprinkle it around as the boundary. Or recite the Dharani 21 times towards some white mustard seeds, and then scatter them around to mark a boundary. Or make a boundary by mental visualization. Or recite the Dharani 21 times towards some clean ashes of incense, and use them to mark a boundary. Or recite the Dharani 21 times towards a 5-colored thread, and then make a closed circle on the ground with the threads as a boundary. All of these will do. If one can accept and hold the Dharani in accord with the Dharma, he will achieve the fruit naturally. If anyone just hears the name of this Dharani, his weighty sins of births and deaths of countless kalpas will be eliminated. How much more so of those who recite and hold this mantra themselves? If anyone can know and recite this holy mantra, we should know that he has already offered and sustained innumerable Buddhas and have widely planted his virtuous roots. If he can recite and hold this Dharani in accord with the Dharma to relieve all living beings from sufferings, we should know that he is the one with great compassionate heart and will become a Buddha soon. If he recites the Dharani for all living beings that he sees, makes them hear the Dharani, and makes it become a cause of their achievement of Bodhi, then his merits and virtues are immeasurable, boundless, and cannot be praised completely. If he can, with pure sincerity, apply his heart to keep the abstinent precepts, repent the previous sins on behalf of all living beings, also repent his own various sins accumulated in countless past kalpas, keep reciting this Dharani and never allow the sound of recitation to be interrupted, then he will achieve the 4 Shramana fruits in his present life. If he has excellent talent for Dharma, and masters the skillful means of wisdom observing, then achieving the fruits of 10 bhumis is not difficult for him, not to mention those small worldly blessings. All of his wishes will be fulfilled. If he wishes to command ghosts, he should find a skull in the wild, wash it clean, set up a mandala in front of a statue of 1,000-handed, 1,000-eyed Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva, and make offerings of multifarious fragrances, flowers, drinks, and vegetable foods. Do this day after day, then 7 days later the ghost will appear and obey his orders. If he wishes to command the 4 guardian gods, he should recite towards a sandalwood and burn it. Then he will achieve the goal, because the power of the Bodhisattva's great compassionate vows are deep and weighty, and the power of this holy Dharani is mighty and vast. The Buddha told Ananda, "When there are catastrophes in a country, if the king of the country can manage state affairs according to correct laws, be liberal toward people and animals, not to do anybody an injustice, absolve people from blames, and for 7 days and 7 nights keep both his body and his mind sincere and diligent, and in this way recite and hold this great compassion heart Dharani holy mantra, then all the catastrophes of his country will disappear, the 5 kinds of crops will be abundant, and his people will live in peace and happiness. If a country is being frequently invaded by enemies from other countries, people are unsafe, and ministers are traitorous, pestilences are spreading everywhere, the rains and the droughts are unbalanced and unseasonable, or even the sun and the moon lost their accuracy. When such disasters come, the people should make a statue of 1,000-handed, 1,000-eyed Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva and set it facing the west. Make offerings to it sincerely with fragrances, flowers, streamers, precious canopies or vegetable foods and drinks of hundreds of tastes, and for 7 days and 7 nights, if the king of the country can keep both his body and mind sincere and diligent, and in this way recite and hold the sacrosanct wonderful phrases of this Dharani, then the foreign enemies will be tamed of themselves. They will return to their own countries and make no further disturbance. These countries will be in communication and will have friendly relations. The princes and officers will be loyal. The queen, the prince's wife, and the maids will also be loyal to the king. Dragons, ghosts, and spirits will protect this country. The rains will be seasonal, the fruits will be abundant, and the people will be happy. If anyone in a family gets a serious evil disease, or if hundreds of monsters appear, or if ghosts, spirits, and demons deplete and demolish the family, or if some villains malign the family and plot to harm them, or if the members of the family are disharmonious, they should set up a mandala in front of a statue of 1,000-handed, 1,000-eyed Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva. Recite the name of Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva with their deep felt sincere heart, and then recite this Dharani fully 1,000 times. Then all those misfortunes will disappear, and the family will be peaceful forever. Ananda asked the Buddha, "Bhagavan, what is the name of this mantra? How should we accept and hold it?" The Buddha told Ananda, "This holy mantra has many names. One of them is vast, great, perfect. Another is unimpeded, great compassion. Another is relieving sufferings, Dharani. Another is lengthening life, Dharani. Another is extinguishing evil destinies, Dharani. Another is breaking evil karma hindrances, Dharani. Another is wish-fulfilling, Dharani. Another is the Dharani of the freedom in accord with the heart. Another is quickly exceeding the upper stages, Dharani. Thus should you accept and hold it." Then Ananda asked the Buddha, "Bhagavan, what is the name of this Bodhisattva Mahasattva who is so good to teach us this Dharani?" The Buddha said, "This Bodhisattva is called Avalokiteshvara, the unrestricted one, also called nipping a lariat, also called 1,000 bright eyes. Virtuous man, this Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva has unimaginable mighty and holy powers. Uncountable kalpas before, he had already been a Buddha named True Dharma Brightness Tathagata. Because of the power of his great compassionate vows, and in order to call upon all bodhisattvas to comfort and please all living beings, he appears as a bodhisattva. All of you, including the bodhisattvas, brahmas, gods of the 33 heavens, dragons, and divinities, should show respect to him. Do not despise him. All heavenly and human beings should constantly make offerings to him and recite his name absorbedly. Then they will get infinite blessings and eliminate countless sins, and at the end of their lives, they will be reborn in the Pure Land of Amitabha Buddha." The Buddha told Ananda, "This holy mantra spoken by Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva is true, real, and not false. If you wish to invite this Bodhisattva to come, recite the mantra 21 times toward a gugula incense and burn it. Then this Bodhisattva will come. If being possessed by a soul of a cat, find a dead cat's skull, burn it to ashes, mix the ashes with clean soil, and then use them to shape a cat. In front of a statue of 1,000-handed and 1,000-eyed Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Recite the Dharani 108 times toward a wrought iron knife, and then cut the model into 108 pieces with the knife. Recite once, cut once, and say his name once. Then the cat's soul will leave and never return. If harmed by mediumistic insects, mix karupa, dragon brain incense, with the same bulk of gugula incense, add 1 bowl of wellflower water, and decoct them into 1 bowl of decoction. When done, recite the Dharani 108 times towards the decoction in front of a statue of thousand-handed, thousand-eyed Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva. Then take the decoction, the illness will be healed. If bitten by fierce snakes or scorpions, recite the Dharani 7 times towards some powder of dried gingers. Apply the powder on the bite and they will be healed. If someone plots to harm you because of hatred and resentment, you should find some clean soil or flour or wax to shape the enemy's body. In front of a statue of thousand-handed, thousand-eyed Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva, recite the Dharani 108 times towards a wrought iron knife. Then cut the model into 108 pieces with the knife. Recite once and cut once, and say his name once, and then burn up all 108 pieces. After that, the enemy will be happy, will respect you, and will like to befriend you for his entire life. If you have the eye diseases of dimmed vision or blindness, or if your eyes are covered by a white haze or a red film, you should find a haritaki fruit, an amala fruit, and a vihetaki fruit, and grind them into powder. During the grinding, you must guard their purity. Do not be seen by women who have just given birth, or by pigs or dogs, and you should keep reciting the Buddha's name. Mix the powder with white honey or human milk. The human milk must be from a mother of a boy, not from mothers of girls. When the medicine is done, in front of a statue of thousand-handed and thousand-eyed Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva, recite the Dharani 1008 times towards the medicine. Then apply it on the sick eyes for fully 7 days. Stay in a quiet room and do not be exposed to wind. Then the eyes will recover. The white haze and red film will disappear, and the eyesight will be very clear. If you are afflicted by recurrent fevers, recite the Dharani 21 times towards the skin of a tiger, panther, or a wolf. Place the skin on your body, and the fever will be healed. The skin of a lion is best. If someone is bitten by a snake, get some earwax of that person. Recite the Dharani 21 times towards the earwax. Apply it on his sore, and then it will be healed. If an evil fever enters your heart, and it is so oppressive that makes you even wish to die, in this case, you should find a peach glue as big as a normal peach, add 1 bowl of clean water, and decoct them into a half bowl of decoction. When done, recite the Dharani 7 times toward the decoction. Take them all, then the disease will be healed. The medicine should not be decocted by a woman. If you are possessed by a ghost, recite the Dharani 21 times towards a gugula incense, and burn it to fume the nostrils. Further, make 7 pills of gugula each as big as a rabbit dung. Recite the Dharani 21 times toward them and take them. Then you will be cured. Be careful. Do not drink alcohol, do not eat meat or the 5 pungencies, and do not abuse others. If you find some manasila, mix it with the white mustard seeds and yangsheng salt, and then recite the Dharani 21 times toward the mixture and burn it under the bed of the patient. Then the possessing ghost will run away and not dare to stay. For deafness, recite the Dharani towards some sesame oil and drop the oil into ears. Then the disease will be healed. If someone is suffering from hemiplegias, his nose is blocked and his hands and feet cannot move because of apoplexy, you should mix some sesame oil with green wood spice and decoct them. Recite the Dharani 21 times toward the mixture and rub it on the body. Then the diseases will forever be healed. Another prescription. Recite the Dharani 21 times towards some pure cow ghee and rub it on the body. Then the diseases will also be healed. For dystocias, recite the Dharani 21 times towards sesame oil and apply on both the navel and the jade gate of the woman who is giving birth. Then there will be an easy birth. If a baby dies in a pregnant woman's womb, find 1 large lerng of hyssops, mix it with 2 bowls of clean water, and decoct them into 1 bowl of decoction. Recite the Dharani 21 times toward the decoction and let the woman take it. Then the dead baby will come out, and the woman will not be in pain. If the placenta does not come out, let her take this medicine again, and it will be fine. If you have a disease that your heart is often attacked by an unbearable pain, this is called hidden corpse disease. Find a fume land incense with mature nipples, Recite the Dharani 21 times towards it. Chew and swallow it, no matter more or less. After some time, it will cause vomiting and diarrhea. Then the disease will be healed. Do not eat any of the 5 pungencies, do not eat meat, and do not drink alcohol. If burned by a fire, recite the Dharani 21 times towards some dung of black cows. Apply them on the sores, the pain will be healed. If one's heart is being attacked by ascarids, recite the Dharani 21 times toward a half bowl of urine of a white horse and take it. Then the disease will be healed. If the disease is serious, take more medicine up to 1 bowl. Then the ascarids will come out like a linked rope. For a nail sore, find some ling seal leaves, grind them and get the juice. Recite the Dharani 21 times toward the juice. Apply the juice to the sore. Pull out the sore by the root, and it will be healed immediately. If one's eyes were bitten by flies, find some new dung of donkey, filter it, and get the liquid. Recite the Dharani 21 times toward the liquid. Drop it into the eyes when lying on the bed at night. Then the disease will be healed. For belly aches, mix well flower water with yangsheng salt to make 21 pellets. Recite the Dharani 21 times toward them. Take half a bowl of the medicine, then the disease will be healed. For red eye diseases, or neoplasms in eyes, or cataracts, find some leaves of Chinese wolfberry, grind them and get their juice. Recite the Dharani 21 times toward the juice. Soak a bronze copper coin in the juice overnight. Recite the Dharani towards it. Recite the Dharani towards it 7 more times. Drop the juice into the eyes, then the disease will be healed. If someone is afraid and not peaceful at night, and he may even be frightened when entering or leaving a house, he should make a rope with white threads, recite the Dharani 21 times towards it, tie it into 21 knots, and wear it on his neck. Then the fear will disappear. Not only will his fear disappear, his sins will also be eliminated. If some unexpected calamities come to your household, find a guava branch, cut it into 1008 segments, smear some ghee and honey on both ends of them, recite the Dharani once, and burn 1 segment. Burn up all 1008 segments this way, then all calamities will disappear. This must be done in front of a Buddha. If you recite the Dharani 21 times toward a white flag leaf and tie it to your right arm, you will always win others in all fighting places and debating places. If you find some leaves and branches of sami, cut them into 1008 segments, smear some true cow ghee and white honey cow ghee on both ends of them. Recite the Dharani once toward each segment and burn it. And burn up all 1008 segments in this way. Do this 3 times each day, 1008 times each time for 7 days. Then you, as a mantra master, will realize the thorough wisdom of yourself. If you wish to tame powerful ghosts or spirits, find some woodwind sea, recite the Dharani 49 times towards them, smear some ghee and honey on them, and burn them up. This must be done in front of a statue of great compassionate Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva. If you put 1 large lerng of bezor into a lapis lazuli bottle, then put the bottle in front of a statue of great compassionate Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva. Recite the Dharani 108 times toward it. Apply the bezor on your body and dot it on your forehead. Then all gods, dragons, ghosts, spirits, human and non-human beings will be pleased. If being chained and locked, find some dung of white pigeons. Recite the Dharani 108 times toward them. Smear them on your hands and rub the chains and locks. Then the chains and locks will open of themselves. If a husband and wife have a disharmonious relationship, and their situation is like that of water and fire, find some feathers of the tail of mandarin ducks in front of a statue of great compassionate Avalokiteshvara Boddhisattva. Recite the Dharani 1008 times toward the feathers and let the couple wear them. Then the couple will be delightful and will love and respect each other until the ends of their lives. If the seeds and fruits in your farm are being eaten by insects, find some clean ashes or clean sands or clean water and recite the Dharani 21 times toward them. Sprinkle them around the farm and the seedlings, then the insects will quit. If you sprinkle some mantra water on the fruit trees, the insects will not dare eat the fruits. The Buddha told Ananda, for richness, treasures, or various valuables and necessities, use the wish-fulfilling pearl mudra. For seeking stable life in various unstable situations, use the pasa mudra. For various diseases in abdomen, use the precious bull mudra. For vanquishing all demons, monsters, ghosts, and spirits, use the precious glave mudra. For vanquishing all heavenly demons and deities, use the Vajra mudra. For taming all enemies, use the Vajra pestle mudra. For eliminating all fears in any situation, use the fearless giving mudra. For healing dim eyes, use the sun quintessence mani mudra. If one has a disease caused by the poison of heat and seeks for refreshing coolness, he should use the moon quintessence mani mudra. For high positions and promotions, use the precious bowl mudra. For meeting all virtuous friends as soon as possible, use the precious arrow mudra. For healing various diseases on one's body, use the willow branch mudra. For eliminating evil obstacles and misfortunes of one's body, use the white whisk mudra. For good harmony among all relatives, use the precious face mudra. For evading all tigers, wolves, jackals, panthers, and other fierce beasts, use the shield mudra. For always resting in peace and avoiding being imprisoned, use the axe tomahawk mudra. For commanding men and women, use the jade bracelet mudra. For various merits and virtues, use the white lotus mudra. For rebirth in pure lands of the 10 directions, use the blue lotus mudra. For great wisdom, use the precious mirror mudra. For personally meeting all Buddhas of the 10 directions, use the purple lotus mudra. For underground precious deposits, use the precious box mudra. For achieving the way of immortals, use the 5-colored cloud mudra. For rebirth in Brahma heaven, use the bath bottle mudra. For rebirth in heavenly palaces, use the red lotus mudra. For vanquishing traitors of all other places, use the precious halberd mudra. For summoning all virtuous heavenly gods, use the precious trumpet shell mudra. For commanding all ghosts and spirits, use the skull staff mudra. For the Buddhas of the 10 directions coming to receive you with their hands quickly, use the prayer beads mudra. For achieving all superior wonderful Brahma sounds, use the precious bell mudra. For the ability of eloquent, clever, and wonderful speech, use the precious seal mudra. To be constantly guarded by virtuous gods and dragon kings, use the Kusinagara iron hook mudra. For mercifully sheltering and protecting all living beings, use the 10 staff mudra. For making all living beings always respect and love each other, use the joining palms mudra. For always being reborn beside Buddhas for all lifetimes, use the Nirmana Buddha mudra. To be always reborn in the palaces of Buddhas for all lifetimes and never be born from a womb, use the Nirmana Palace mudra. For eruditeness, use the precious Sutra mudra. If you wish that from your current incarnation to the incarnation that you are a Buddha, you will never retrogress from or lose the Bodhi Heart, use the non-retrogression gold wheel mudra. If you wish that the Buddhas of the 10 directions will come quickly to rub your summit and award you the mark of future Buddhahood, use the Summit Nirmana Buddha mudra. For fruits, melons, and various crops, use the grape mudra. There are thousands of such requesting mudras. Now I have just briefly said some of them. Sunlight Bodhisattva then spoke a great holy mantra for those who accept and hold the great compassionate heart Dharani to protect them. Namo Buddha Kunami, Namo Dharma Mahadi, Namo Sangha Teyani, Dribu Vi Sattva Yam Namo. This mantra can extinguish all sins and can evade demons and natural disasters. If one can recite the Dharani once and bow to the Buddhas once, 3 times daily, recite the Dharani and bow to the Buddhas, then in his next lifetime he will gain the delightful fruit repayment that all of his facial features are handsome. Moonlight Bodhisattva also spoke a Dharani to protect practitioners. Sumdidi, Tuzuza, Ajamidi, Uduza, Sumkiza, Bolaidi, Yami Jaza, Uduza, Kuladiza, Kimoza, Swaha. Recite this mantra 5 times, making a mantra rope with 5 colored threads, and wear it on where it is sore. This mantra had been spoken by the previous 40 Ganges River Sands Buddhas. Now I also speak it, for supporting all practitioners, for eliminating all obstacles and calamities, for healing all serious diseases, and for relieving all sufferings, for accomplishing all virtuous dharmas, for eliminating all fears. The Buddha told Ananda, "You should accept and uphold this great compassion Dharani with a deeply pure heart. Spread it abroad widely throughout Jambudvipa and never allow it to be lost. This Dharani can greatly benefit all living beings of the 3 realms of transmigrations, and all living beings suffering from diseases can use this Dharani to heal their diseases. Even a withered tree can grow new branches, flowers and fruits when someone recites this great holy Dharani towards it. Thus, it is impossible that any diseases of sentient and conscious beings cannot be healed by this Dharani. Virtuous man, the mighty and sacrosanct power of this Dharani is unimaginable, and one will never be able to fully praise it. If one has not extensively planted virtuous roots since long distant past, he is not able to hear even the name of this Dharani, much less could he see it. All of you in this congregation, the gods, human beings, dragons, spirits, should accordingly rejoice when hearing my praise. Slandering this Dharani is equal to slandering those 9.9 billion Ganges River Sands Buddhas. If anyone doubts or disbelieves this Dharani, we should know that he loses great benefits forever. For billions of kalpas, he will constantly fall into the evil categories of hell beings, hungry ghosts, and animals, and unable to escape, he will always be unable to see the Buddhas, unable to hear the Dharmas, and unable to see the Sanghas. After hearing the Buddha praise this Dharani, the whole congregation, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas, Vajra, secret traces, divinities, Brahmas, Chakras, gods, the 4 heavenly kings, dragons, ghosts, and spirits were all delighted, and they accepted the teaching respectfully and started practicing it.